Welcome back to the Top Liberty Coins. Today we are talking about a coin that many people ignore every day, but some collectors believe it could be worth an incredible amount of money. Imagine holding a small coin in your hand that most people would spend without thinking, but hidden inside that tiny piece of metal could be a value that surprises the entire coin collecting world. Today our focus is the famous 1982 dime coin, a coin that has created curiosity among collectors and coin hunters for many years. When people think about rare coins, they usually imagine gold coins, ancient coins, or coins from hundreds of years ago. But sometimes the most surprising treasures are modern coins that still appear in circulation. The 1982 dime is one of those coins that has attracted attention because of its unusual characteristics and the stories that collectors share about it. Some believe that certain rare examples could be worth an astonishing amount of money, even hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on condition, rarity, and special mint errors. Before we understand why collectors talk about the 1982 dime, we first need to understand the history of the United States dime itself. The dime is one of the smallest coins in the American monetary system, but it has a long and fascinating story. The design that most people recognize today is the Roosevelt dime. This coin was introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt after his death. Roosevelt was admired for his leadership during difficult times in American history and also for his support of the March of Dimes campaign that fought against polio. Because of that connection, the United States Mint decided to place Roosevelt's portrait on the dime. The word Liberty appears on the left side of the coin and the year of minting appears on the right side. Below the year is the mint mark, which tells us where the coin was produced. A small letter can reveal a lot about a coin's origin. The letter D indicates that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint has produced millions and millions of coins over the decades. In 1982, the Mint was producing dimes in massive quantities for everyday circulation. Most of these coins were made from a copper-nickel clad composition and were worth exactly 10 cents. But sometimes during the minting process something unusual happens. A small change in production, a missing mark, a strike error, or a variation in design can transform an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. The year 1982 is especially interesting in the world of coin collecting. During this period, the United States Mint made several changes to coin production methods. New dies were prepared, different minting processes were used, and sometimes small variations slipped through unnoticed. Collectors began to study coins from this era very carefully. They discovered that some 1982 coins had unusual characteristics. One of the most talked about varieties connected to 1982 is the missing mint mark error that appeared on some coins. While that specific error is usually discussed with other denominations, it created a wave of interest among collectors who started checking all 1982 coins, including dimes. Whenever collectors begin searching carefully through millions of coins, the chance of discovering rare pieces increases. Now imagine someone opening an old jar of coins that has been sitting in a house for many years. Inside that jar might be dozens of ordinary dimes. But among them there could be a 1982 dime in exceptional condition or with a rare minting anomaly. Coin grading plays a huge role in determining the value of such pieces. A coin that looks worn and scratched may still only be worth its face value. But a coin that has remained in brilliant uncirculated condition for decades could be worth far more. Professional coin grading services evaluate coins based on a scale from poor condition to perfect mint state. Collectors look for coins with sharp details, strong luster, and minimal marks. A high-grade example from 1982 produced at the Denver Mint can sometimes attract serious attention at auctions, especially if the coin has a unique feature or minting error. This is where the excitement of coin collecting truly begins. People start checking their change, searching through coin rolls from banks, and examining old family collections. The possibility that a simple dime might hold hidden value creates a sense of adventure. Stories spread online about rare coins selling for thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some collectors claim that extremely rare examples or error coins connected to the 1982 dime could reach incredible theoretical values, sometimes discussed in sensational numbers like hundreds of thousands of dollars or more depending on rarity, collector demand, and historical importance. While such extreme prices are rare and depend heavily on specific conditions, the excitement keeps collectors searching. The value of a coin is determined by several important factors. Rarity is one of the most powerful factors. If only a few examples of a certain variety exist, collectors will compete to own them. Condition is another major factor. A coin that has survived in nearly perfect condition for decades becomes extremely desirable. Historical significance also adds to a coin's appeal. Coins represent moments in time. Each coin tells a story about the economy, the technology of minting, and the culture of the era when it was produced. A 1982 dime is not just a piece of metal. It is a small artifact from the early 1980s, a time when the world was experiencing technological growth, economic shifts, and new generations of collectors discovering the hobby. Many coin experts recommend using a magnifying glass when examining coins. Small details such as doubling in the lettering, unusual marks, die cracks, or off-center strikes can reveal whether a coin is special. Even a tiny difference in the way the word Liberty appears on the coin could attract the attention of experienced collectors. Another important detail to check is the coin's surface luster. When a coin leaves the mint, it has a bright reflective shine created during the striking process. Over time, this shine often fades as the coin circulates in pockets and cash registers. Finding a 1982 dime that still displays strong original mint luster can significantly increase its desirability. Collectors also pay attention to strike quality. If the coin was struck with strong pressure, the design details will appear sharp and clear. Roosevelt's hair, the torch on the reverse side, and the fine lines in the design will all appear crisp. Weak strikes can reduce a coin's value, while strong strikes can enhance it. Coin auctions around the world have proven that even modern coins can surprise collectors. A coin that once circulated in everyday change can eventually appear in an auction catalog decades later. When collectors compete for rare pieces, the final price can climb dramatically. The excitement of coin collecting is not only about money. It is also about discovery. The thrill of examining coins, researching their history, and learning about the minting process makes the hobby fascinating for people of all ages. Some collectors began their journey simply by finding an unusual coin in their pocket change. Imagine the moment when someone notices the tiny letter D next to the year 1982 on a dime. Curiosity leads them to research the coin. They begin reading about mint marks, grading systems, and coin varieties. Suddenly, a simple 10-cent coin becomes the starting point of a lifelong hobby. The story of the 1982 dime reminds us that value can sometimes hide in the most ordinary places. A coin that millions of people ignore might capture the imagination of collectors searching for rare pieces. Whether the coin is worth a few dollars or an incredible amount, the journey of discovery is what keeps collectors engaged. For viewers watching this video, take a moment to check your own coins. Look at the year carefully. Examine the mint mark. Use a small magnifying glass if you have one. Pay attention to details like the word Liberty, the shine of the metal, and the sharpness of the design. You never know what might be hiding in a coin jar or an old collection box. The world of coin collecting is filled with stories of surprising discoveries. Some collectors have found valuable coins in bank rolls, flea markets, estate sales, and even loose change from a grocery store. Every coin has a history, and sometimes that history becomes extremely valuable. So the next time you see a dime, do not rush to spend it. Take a closer look. That small coin might hold more than just 10 cents. It might hold a story, a piece of history, and possibly a treasure waiting to be discovered. If you enjoy learning about rare coins, hidden values, and the fascinating stories behind everyday money, make sure you stay connected with the channel Coins. The world of coin collecting is full of mysteries, and the next incredible discovery could be hiding in your pocket right now. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating small coins in American history, a coin that millions of people have seen but very few truly understand. At first glance it looks like an ordinary small silver-colored coin. Many people carry it in their pockets, drop it into jars, or ignore it completely. But hidden inside this tiny piece of metal is a story of history, rarity, mystery, and sometimes unbelievable value. Today we are talking about the famous Liberty design dime and especially the 1999p dime that collectors around the world search for. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that most people would spend without thinking. A coin that normally represents only 10 cents. Yet in rare situations that same coin could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even an incredible value approaching $787,976.44. It sounds unbelievable, but in the world of coin collecting extraordinary things happen when rarity, condition, and history come together. The American dime has a long and rich story that began in the 18th century when the United States was still forming its national identity. The first dimes were produced in the late 1700s, and over the decades the design changed many times. Each design reflected the spirit of the nation at that moment in history. Some showed the famous Liberty figure representing freedom and independence. Others later showed portraits of important American leaders. One of the most recognizable elements that appeared on many American coins was the word liberty. That word represents one of the core ideas behind the United States. When collectors see liberty on a coin, they immediately know they are looking at a piece of history connected to the nation's founding values. Coins with Liberty designs are often called Liberty coins, and they hold a special place in the hearts of collectors. Fast forward many years to the modern era of coin production. By the late 20th century, the United States Mint had become one of the most advanced coin-producing institutions in the world. Every year billions of coins were struck in large minting facilities located in different cities. One of those facilities is located in Philadelphia, and coins produced there often carry the small letter P mint mark. The year 1999 was an exciting time in American coinage. It was the beginning of the famous State Quarters program, which brought millions of new people into the hobby of coin collecting. At the same time, the United States Mint was producing enormous numbers of other coins, including the dime. The 1999p dime may appear ordinary, but collectors pay attention to every small detail. A tiny difference in the metal, the strike, the die used to produce the coin, or even a small error during minting can turn an everyday coin into a rare treasure. The design of the modern dime features the portrait of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt on the front. Roosevelt was one of the most important leaders in American history, guiding the country through the Great Depression and World War II. Because of his strong connection with the March of Dimes campaign that fought polio, the nation honored him by placing his image on the dime in 1946. When you look closely at the front of the coin, you will notice several important features. The word Liberty appears along the left side. The phrase "In God We Trust" appears near the portrait. The year of minting is displayed clearly, and on some coins you can see the small P mint mark showing that the coin was produced in Philadelphia. On the reverse side of the dime you will see a powerful symbol. A torch in the center representing liberty and enlightenment. On one side of the torch is an olive branch symbolizing peace. On the other side is an oak branch symbolizing strength and independence. Together these elements represent the balance of power, peace, and freedom that defines the United States. Millions upon millions of 1999p dimes were produced. Because of this large mintage, most examples you find in everyday circulation are only worth their face value. However, coin collectors know that sometimes something unusual happens during the minting process. When coins are struck by dies inside the minting machines, those dies slowly wear down. Sometimes a die cracks, shifts, or develops a tiny flaw. When that flawed die strikes coins, it can create unique varieties. Some coins might show doubled letters, unusual marks, or striking differences that make them stand out from normal coins. These small differences can make a coin extremely valuable to collectors who specialize in rare varieties. A collector might search through thousands or even millions of coins hoping to discover that one special piece. Another factor that affects value is condition. Coins are graded on a scale that measures how well preserved they are. A coin that has been heavily used might show scratches, dull surfaces, and worn details. But a coin that has never circulated can look almost perfect with sharp lines and brilliant luster. Professional grading companies examine coins carefully under magnification and assign them grades that reflect their condition. The highest grades are extremely rare because most coins enter circulation and begin to wear down quickly. When a coin combines rarity, an unusual minting feature, and near perfect condition, its value can increase dramatically. Collectors are willing to pay incredible amounts of money to own the finest examples known to exist. This is where stories of extraordinary values appear. Some rare coins discovered in pocket change have shocked collectors when they later sold at auction for huge amounts. While the majority of 1999 p dimes are common, the possibility of rare varieties or exceptional high-grade pieces keeps collectors searching. Imagine opening an old jar of coins in your home. You begin sorting through pennies, nickels, quarters, and suddenly you notice a shiny dime dated 1999 with the small P mint mark. At first it seems normal, but under closer inspection you might see something unusual. Maybe the letters appear doubled, maybe the strike is incredibly sharp, or maybe the coin looks untouched by circulation. Moments like that are what make coin collecting so exciting. Every coin has the potential to tell a story. It may have passed through countless hands, traveled across cities and states, and survived decades of use before ending up in your collection. Collectors also study the history of the minting process. The United States Mint uses powerful presses that strike coins with tremendous force. Planchets, which are the blank metal discs used to create coins, are fed into machines where dies stamp the design onto both sides at the same time. Even though the process is highly controlled, small variations still occur. These variations create the rare pieces that collectors dream of finding. Sometimes a planchet might be slightly off-center when struck. Sometimes two dies may strike slightly out of alignment, creating doubled images. These mint errors become highly desirable because they are accidental pieces of history. They show us that even in a modern minting system, perfection is not always guaranteed. Over the years, collectors have discovered many surprising coins hiding in ordinary change. Some coins were mistakenly struck on the wrong metal. Others were struck multiple times, creating unusual overlapping images. A few were even struck using dies meant for different coins. Because of discoveries like these, collectors always examine their coins carefully. A simple magnifying glass can reveal details invisible to the naked eye. Under magnification, the surfaces of a coin become a landscape of tiny lines, shapes, and textures that tell the story of how it was made. The value of rare coins is determined by several important factors, including rarity, condition, demand, and historical significance. When all of these elements align, the result can be astonishing. Prices at auctions and private sales. There are documented cases in the coin collecting world where small coins sold for enormous sums because they were the best-known examples or because they displayed unique characteristics never seen before. This is why collectors remain fascinated by modern coins like the 1999 p dime. Even though billions were produced, the chance of finding something unusual still exists. A rare variety or an ultra-high-grade coin could attract attention from collectors around the world. The hobby of coin collecting continues to grow because it combines history, treasure hunting, art, and education. Each coin connects us to a moment in time. It might represent a historical era, an economic period, or a technological advancement in minting. For beginners, the journey often begins by simply looking at the coins already in their pockets. You do not need expensive equipment or large investments to start. All you need is curiosity and patience. Take a close look at your coins. Study the dates, mint marks, and designs. Compare them with reference guides used by collectors. Over time, you will begin to notice small details that make each coin unique. The next time you receive change from a store or open an old piggy bank, remember that history might be sitting right there in your hand. That small silver-colored dime might be more than just 10 cents, and who knows? Somewhere out there a rare coin is waiting to be discovered. Maybe it is already sitting in someone's coin jar, unnoticed and unappreciated. Maybe it will be found by a curious collector who decides to look a little closer. Stories of coins worth incredible amounts of money continue to inspire collectors around the world. The possibility that a tiny coin could reach values approaching $787,976.44 captures the imagination of anyone who hears it. Today we are diving into a fascinating story hidden inside one small American coin. A coin that most people ignore every single day. A coin that sits quietly in pockets, jars, and drawers across the world. Yet this tiny piece of metal has a story filled with history, mystery, and incredible value. Today we are talking about the famous 1999 P. Roosevelt dime and why collectors everywhere are paying attention to it. At first glance, the 1999 P dime looks like an ordinary 10-cent coin. It is small, silver-colored, and many people would never think it could be worth anything more than 10 cents. But coin collectors know something that many people do not. Sometimes the most ordinary-looking coins can become the most valuable treasures. The Roosevelt dime carries the image of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt on the front side of the coin. Roosevelt was one of the most influential presidents in American history. After his death in 1945, the United States Mint decided to honor him by placing his portrait on the dime starting in 1946. Roosevelt had strong connections to the March of Dimes campaign, which fought against polio, making the dime the perfect tribute. On the front of the coin you will see the word Liberty written clearly along the side of Roosevelt's portrait. Liberty represents freedom and democracy, the values the United States was built upon. Just beside Roosevelt's neck you will also notice a small letter P. This tiny letter is very important because it tells us where the coin was made. The letter P stands for the Philadelphia Mint. The Philadelphia Mint is one of the oldest and most historic minting facilities in the United States. Coins produced there have been circulating for generations. In 1999, millions of dimes were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, but among those coins a few stand out for collectors. The year 1999 was an interesting year in American coinage. During that time the United States Mint was producing large numbers of coins for circulation because of increasing demand. New coin programs were also beginning around that era, including the famous State Quarters program which started the same year. Because of the busy production schedule, small minting differences and rare varieties occasionally appeared. Most 1999 P dimes are only worth their face value of 10 cents. However, collectors know that coins in exceptional condition or coins with unusual mint errors can be worth much more. When a coin is perfectly preserved, with no scratches, strong details, and brilliant surfaces, its value can increase dramatically in the collector market. Professional grading companies evaluate coins based on condition. The grading scale ranges from poor condition all the way to mint state grades. A coin graded in the highest mint state levels can become extremely desirable. When collectors compete for those high-grade examples, prices can climb surprisingly high. There have been rare cases where a nearly perfect 1999 P. Roosevelt dime received a top grade from professional grading services. These coins are extremely scarce because it is very difficult for a circulating coin to remain flawless for decades. When one appears at auction, collectors and investors sometimes compete intensely to own it. Some reports from coin collecting communities have discussed extraordinary theoretical valuations, where extremely rare condition examples or special mint errors could reach astonishing numbers. Numbers like $787,976.45 have circulated in discussions and speculation among collectors analyzing rare possibilities. While such figures are extraordinary and far beyond normal prices, they capture the imagination of coin hunters around the world. But what actually makes a coin like the 1999 P dime valuable? The answer comes down to three main factors: rarity, condition, and demand. Rarity is the first and most powerful factor. Even though millions of 1999 P dimes were produced, only a tiny number survive in perfect mint state condition. Some may also contain minting errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, or unusual metal planchets. These rare characteristics transform an ordinary coin into a collector's treasure. Condition is equally important. A coin that has been preserved carefully without scratches, wear, or damage can receive a higher grade. Collectors always search for coins with sharp details in Roosevelt's hair, clear lettering in Liberty, and bright luster across the surface. Demand is the third piece of the puzzle. The Roosevelt dime series has a large and passionate collector base. Many collectors attempt to complete full date and mint collections, searching for the highest quality coins available. Whenever a rare high-grade coin appears on the market, demand pushes the price upward. The metal composition of the 1999 Roosevelt dime also tells an interesting story. Earlier dimes before 1965 were made from 90% silver. However, after rising silver prices, the United States Mint changed the composition to a copper core with a nickel outer layer. The 1999 dime follows this modern composition, which means its metal value is small. But collectors do not focus on the metal alone. They focus on rarity and condition. The back side of the Roosevelt dime carries a powerful design. In the center stands a torch, symbolizing liberty and enlightenment. On one side is an olive branch representing peace. On the other side is an oak branch representing strength and independence. Together these symbols create a meaningful image that reflects American values. When collectors examine a 1999 P dime closely, they often use magnification to search for small details. Sometimes they look for doubling in the lettering, unusual die cracks, or small mistakes made during minting. These tiny variations can turn a simple coin into a unique collectible. Coin collecting itself is one of the oldest hobbies in the world. For centuries people have saved coins not just for money but for history. Each coin carries a moment in time. It reflects the technology, art, and culture of the era in which it was created. Imagine a single 1999 dime traveling through countless hands over the years. It might have been used to buy a newspaper, dropped into a vending machine, or saved in a coin jar. Most people would never look twice at it. Yet that same coin could one day be discovered by a collector who realizes its true value. Stories like this are what make coin hunting so exciting. Every pocket, every drawer, every old collection could hide something rare. A coin worth only 10 cents today might become a prized collectible tomorrow. Many collectors search bank rolls of dimes hoping to find rare examples. Others visit flea markets, estate sales, and antique shops. Some even examine loose change from everyday purchases. The thrill of discovery is what drives the passion of coin collecting. If you ever come across a 1999 P Roosevelt dime, take a moment to inspect it carefully. Look at the shine of the metal. Check the details in Roosevelt's portrait. Notice the Liberty lettering and the small P mint mark. Even though most of these coins are common, the possibility of finding an exceptional example keeps collectors searching. The world of coins teaches us something important. Value is not always obvious. Sometimes the smallest objects carry the greatest stories. A tiny dime can represent history, art, economics, and human curiosity all at once. Here on the Coins channel we explore these hidden treasures and the stories behind them. From rare pennies to mysterious mint errors, every coin has a story waiting to be discovered. So next time you receive change in your hand, do not ignore those small coins. Look closely. That ordinary-looking dime might just be a hidden gem from the past. And who knows, somewhere out there a rare 1999 P Roosevelt dime could still be waiting to be discovered. If you enjoy learning about rare coins and hidden values, make sure to stay connected with the Coins channel. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the next incredible discovery could be closer than you think. Today we are diving into a small coin that many people ignore every day, but collectors know it can hold fascinating history and surprising value. The coin we are talking about is the 2002 P Roosevelt dime. At first glance it looks like just another tiny silver-colored coin that passes through millions of hands, but the story behind it, its design, and the possibilities in the collector market make it far more interesting than most people realize. The United States dime has one of the longest-running designs in American coin history. Since 1946 the dime has carried the portrait of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt on the front. This design was created by sculptor John R. Sinek shortly after Roosevelt's death. Roosevelt was honored on the dime because of his strong connection with the March of Dimes campaign, which helped raise money to fight polio. Millions of Americans supported that campaign, and the dime became a symbol of hope and unity. When you look at the front of the 2002 P dime you will see Roosevelt facing left. At the top you see the word Liberty. On the left side you usually notice the phrase "In God We Trust." Near the bottom appears the date 2002. The small letter P represents the Philadelphia Mint where the coin was produced. Even though this design has been used for decades, collectors still carefully examine every detail because tiny variations can sometimes make a coin much more valuable. Now let's talk about the year 2002. During that year millions of dimes were produced at the Philadelphia Mint. These coins were struck for circulation and were intended to be used in everyday transactions. Most of them still exist today in circulation or in coin jars, drawers, and collections around the world. Because of the high mintage, a normal circulated 2002p dime usually carries a value close to its face value of 10 cents. However, the world of coin collecting is never that simple. Condition is extremely important. A coin that has never been used in circulation and remains in perfect mint state condition can be worth much more than a coin that has spent years passing through cash registers and pockets. Collectors look for coins that have sharp details, clean surfaces, and strong luster. Mint state examples of the 2002p Roosevelt dime that receive high grading scores from professional grading services can sometimes sell for several dollars or even more depending on their condition. While this might not sound like a fortune, serious collectors often compete for the finest known examples of modern coins, but something even more exciting can happen with modern coins. Sometimes during the minting process small errors occur. These errors can create coins that are rare and highly collectible. For example, collectors search for double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, and other unusual mint mistakes. When an error coin is discovered, it can dramatically increase the value. Imagine finding a coin in your pocket change that turns out to be a rare mint error. Suddenly a coin worth 10 cents could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars to the right collector. That possibility is one reason why coin collecting continues to attract new enthusiasts around the world. Another important factor is preservation. Coins that are stored properly in protective holders, away from moisture and damage, can maintain their original mint condition for decades. Collectors who carefully store their coins often see their collections grow in value over time. The Roosevelt dime itself represents an important piece of American history. Franklin D. Roosevelt served as president during one of the most challenging times in the nation's history. He led the country through the Great Depression and most of World War II. His leadership left a lasting impact on the United States and the world. When Americans see his portrait on the dime, they are reminded of that powerful period of history. Even though the 2002p dime is considered a modern coin, it still carries that historical connection. Every coin tells a story about the time in which it was made. The early 2000s were a period of technological change, economic shifts, and cultural transformation. Coins from that era serve as small time capsules of that moment in history. Some collectors enjoy building complete sets of Roosevelt dimes by year and mint mark. A full set includes coins from different decades and mint locations such as Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Completing such a collection can take years, and every new coin added brings excitement and satisfaction. Now let's address something that often appears online. You might see claims that a specific modern coin like the 2002p dime is worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. Numbers such as $787,000 or more sometimes circulate on social media or video titles. In reality, most standard examples of this coin are not worth anywhere near that amount. True coin values depend on verified sales, professional grading, rarity, and collector demand. That does not mean the coin is boring or worthless. Every coin has a story, and sometimes unexpected discoveries do happen. Rare varieties, unusual errors, or perfect condition coins can always surprise collectors. That is why experienced collectors encourage people to check their change carefully. Look closely at the coin's surface. Examine the lettering. Check for unusual marks or doubling. Notice the shine and the sharpness of the design. Even a small detail could make a big difference in the world of numismatics. Coin collecting is not only about money. It is also about curiosity, patience, and learning. When you study coins, you begin to understand history, art, economics, and craftsmanship. Each coin reflects the skill of the engravers who designed it and the machines that struck it. The 2002p Roosevelt dime may seem ordinary, but it is part of a long tradition that stretches back through decades of American coinage. Millions of these coins travel through the economy every day, quietly connecting people, businesses, and communities. For collectors, the excitement comes from the hunt. Somewhere out there could be a nearly perfect example waiting to be discovered in a forgotten coin jar or a roll from the bank. That sense of possibility keeps collectors searching. If you enjoy coins, take a moment to look at the dimes in your pocket today. You might see the familiar portrait of Roosevelt and the word Liberty shining at the top. Think about the journey that coin has taken and the many hands it has passed through since it left the mint, and remember that every great coin collection starts with a single coin. Even a small 10-cent piece can open the door to a fascinating hobby filled with history, discovery, and sometimes surprising value. Thank you for watching Coins. If you love rare coins, hidden treasures, and the history behind everyday money, make sure to follow the channel for more stories about coins that might be hiding in plain sight. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins that many people overlook every single day. A tiny coin that can hide a huge story, surprising history, and sometimes even unbelievable value. Imagine holding a simple dime in your hand and realizing it could be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. That is exactly what makes coin collecting so exciting. The coin we are exploring today is the famous 2018 P dime, a coin that may look ordinary at first glance but has captured the attention of collectors across the world. Many people spend these coins every day without thinking twice, yet some rare versions of this small coin can carry surprising value depending on condition, rarity, and collector demand. First, let us understand what a dime actually is. The dime is one of the smallest coins used in everyday transactions in the United States. It has a value of 10 cents, but historically it has been one of the most beautifully designed coins ever produced. On modern dimes you will see the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, a former president of the United States who played a major role during World War II and helped shape the modern American economy. The Roosevelt dime first appeared in 1946 shortly after Roosevelt passed away. Before that, the dime featured another design called the Mercury dime. The Mercury dime is considered one of the most beautiful coins ever made, and today some of those older coins are worth thousands of dollars. When the Roosevelt design was introduced, it quickly became one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. The front of the coin shows Roosevelt facing left. Above his head you can see the word Liberty. The phrase "In God We Trust" appears beside the portrait and the year of the coin is displayed below. The back of the coin shows a torch in the center. The torch represents liberty and freedom. On the left side you will see an olive branch which represents peace. On the right side there is an oak branch representing strength and independence. Together these symbols show the balance of peace and strength that the nation values. Now let us talk about the mint mark that appears on some coins. The letter P that appears on the 2018 P dime represents the Philadelphia Mint. The Philadelphia Mint is one of the oldest and most important minting facilities in the United States. It has been producing coins since the late 1700s and has created billions of coins that circulate around the world. For many years Philadelphia coins did not carry a mint mark at all. That changed later when mint marks became more common to identify where coins were produced. Today collectors carefully study these small letters because they can sometimes indicate rare varieties. The 2018 P dime was produced in huge numbers for circulation. Millions upon millions of these coins were struck and sent into everyday use. Because of this, most examples of the 2018 P dime are worth exactly 10 cents when you spend them at a store, but the story becomes interesting when we look at coins in extremely high condition or coins that contain rare mint errors. Coin grading plays a massive role in determining value. Coins that are perfectly preserved without scratches, wear, or damage are graded by professional grading services. These coins can reach grades like MS67, MS68, or even higher. An ordinary coin found in pocket change might be worth face value, but a coin graded at the highest mint state levels can sometimes sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. Collectors are always searching for coins that were struck perfectly with sharp details and bright original surfaces. Mint errors are another reason a coin can become valuable. During the minting process, machines strike coins with enormous pressure. Occasionally something goes wrong. A coin might be struck slightly off-center, double-struck, or struck on the wrong metal planchet. These mistakes create unique coins that collectors love. Imagine finding a 2018 P dime that was struck off-center so that part of the design is missing. Or a double die error where the lettering appears doubled. These types of coins can attract serious collector attention and may sell for impressive prices depending on rarity. Another factor that affects value is demand. Coin collectors are always looking to complete sets. Some collectors build sets of Roosevelt dimes from every year and every mint location. Others search only for high-grade coins. When demand increases for a certain coin, the price can rise dramatically. Sometimes exaggerated prices appear online claiming certain coins are worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. While most 2018 P dimes are not worth anything close to that amount, extremely rare coins in the right condition with the right era could still command impressive values. The coin collecting world has seen many surprising discoveries. People have found rare coins in old jars, piggy banks, inherited collections, and even in everyday change from grocery stores. A simple glance at a coin can reveal a treasure hiding in plain sight. The process of examining coins can become an exciting hobby. Collectors use magnifying glasses or microscopes to study small details such as mint marks, die cracks, doubling, and surface quality. Each tiny detail can help determine whether a coin is ordinary or something special. The 2018 P dime also represents a modern chapter in American coinage history. Even though it is relatively new, it continues the long tradition of the Roosevelt design that began in the mid-20th century. Every coin tells a story about the time in which it was made. Modern coins may not always appear valuable today, but decades in the future they may become more interesting to collectors. Coins preserved in perfect condition today could become rare survivors tomorrow. For beginners entering the world of coin collecting, starting with everyday coins like dimes can be a great way to learn. Searching through rolls of coins from banks or checking your pocket change can reveal fascinating varieties and teach you about minting history. Another important aspect of coin collecting is proper storage. Coins should be kept in protective holders or albums to prevent scratches, fingerprints, and environmental damage. A well-preserved coin can maintain its beauty and value for many years. Professional grading companies play a major role in the modern coin market. When a coin is graded and sealed in a protective holder, collectors around the world can trust the condition and authenticity of the coin. This helps establish fair market values. The thrill of discovery keeps collectors searching every day. Some people spend hours studying coins under bright lights hoping to find a rare error or a high-grade example hiding among ordinary coins. The 2018 P dime might seem like just another small piece of metal, but within the world of coin collecting even the smallest coin can hold a big story. Its design connects to decades of American history and the legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt. As you look at your own coins, remember that every coin passed through countless hands, traveled through cities and towns, and became part of everyday life. Each one carries a tiny piece of history. Coin collecting is not only about money. It is about curiosity, history, and the excitement of searching for hidden treasures. Some discoveries happen by accident, while others come from years of careful study. Next time you receive a dime in your change, take a moment to look closely. Check the year. Look for the mint mark. Examine the details of the design. You never know what you might find. Some collectors have built incredible collections starting with nothing more than pocket change. A single coin can spark a lifelong passion for history and discovery. Thank you for watching CoinScript. If you enjoy learning about rare coins, hidden treasures, and the fascinating stories behind everyday money, make sure to subscribe to the channel and keep exploring the amazing world of coins. Every coin has a story, and the next valuable discovery might already be waiting in your pocket. Today we are exploring a coin that many people ignore every single day, but collectors and experts know it can sometimes be worth far more than its tiny face value. We are talking about the famous American dime, especially the 2018 P dime that has been getting attention in the coin collecting world. At first glance it looks like just another small silver-colored coin that you might find in your pocket or in a jar at home. Most people would spend it without even thinking. But hidden among ordinary coins can sometimes be rare pieces that collectors are willing to pay serious money for. Some have sold for hundreds, thousands, and in rare cases even more when the right errors or special conditions are discovered. The American dime has a long and fascinating history. The word dime actually comes from the French word meaning tenth, because the coin represents 1/10 of a dollar. The first dimes were produced by the United States Mint in 1796. Those early coins looked very different from the modern ones we see today. Over the years the design has changed several times, reflecting different periods in American history. Today the dime carries one of the most recognizable designs in American coinage. On the front side of the modern dime you will see the profile of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He served as the 32nd President of the United States and played a major role during the Great Depression and World War II. After his passing in 1945, the United States Mint decided to honor him by placing his portrait on the dime. This design first appeared in 1946 and has remained the standard design ever since. Above Roosevelt's portrait you will see the word liberty, which is a symbol of freedom and one of the core values represented on American coinage. Near the portrait you will also see the phrase "In God We Trust" and the year the coin was minted. The back side of the Roosevelt dime features a powerful symbol. It shows a torch in the center, representing liberty and enlightenment. On the left side there is an olive branch symbolizing peace. On the right side there is an oak branch symbolizing strength and independence. Together these elements create a design that represents the ideals of the United States. Around the edges of the coin you will see the words United States of America and one dime. Now let's talk about the 2018 P dime that has become a topic of interest for collectors. The letter P indicates that the coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. For many years Philadelphia coins did not even carry a mint mark, but modern coins often include the letter to identify where they were produced. In 2018 the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of dimes. Because of such a large production number, most 2018 P dimes are still only worth their face value of 10 cents. However, coin collecting is full of surprises. Sometimes a coin from a very common year becomes valuable because of a rare minting error or an unusual variation. These mistakes happen during the manufacturing process when something goes wrong with the dies or the metal blanks. When collectors discover these unusual coins, the value can increase dramatically. One type of error collectors look for is a double die error. This happens when the design is accidentally stamped twice in slightly different positions, creating a doubled appearance in the lettering or the numbers. If a 2018 P dime were discovered with a strong double die effect on the word liberty or on the date, collectors would immediately become interested. Another possibility is an off-center strike. This occurs when the coin blank is not properly aligned with the striking machine. As a result, part of the design is missing and the image appears shifted to one side. Off-center coins are very popular with collectors because they are easy to see and clearly different from normal coins. Clipped planchet errors are also highly collectible. This happens when the metal blank used to create the coin is cut incorrectly before it is struck. The result is a coin with a curved missing section along the edge. These errors are unusual and often command high prices depending on the size and visibility of the clip. There are also coins that show die cracks, cut errors, or unusual surface textures caused by damaged minting equipment. Each of these small differences can transform an ordinary coin into a collectible piece. Condition is another extremely important factor in determining value. Coins are graded on a scale that measures how much wear they show. A coin that has never been used in circulation is called uncirculated. These coins often have a bright shine and very sharp details. Professional grading services examine coins under magnification and assign them a grade that helps collectors understand their quality. A 2018 P dime in normal circulated condition will almost always be worth just 10 cents. But a high-grade uncirculated example could sell for a few dollars to collectors who want the best possible specimen for their collections. If the coin also has a rare error or unusual feature, the value could climb much higher. Sometimes rumors circulate online about coins being worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. In reality, values like $787,976.42 are extremely unlikely for a regular modern dime. However, the world of rare coins has seen incredible prices when something truly unique appears. Extremely rare historical coins have sold for millions at auctions because only a handful exist in the world. What makes coin collecting exciting is that discoveries can still happen. Every year collectors find new errors and varieties that were previously unknown. Many people check their change every day hoping to spot something unusual. Even a tiny detail can turn an ordinary coin into something special. If you want to start looking for valuable dimes, there are a few things you should do. First, examine the coin carefully under good lighting. Look closely at the date, the mint mark, and the lettering. Check for doubling, unusual shapes, or parts of the design that appear missing. A small magnifying glass can help reveal details that are difficult to see with the naked eye. Second, compare your coin with pictures of normal examples. When you know what a standard 2018 p dime looks like, it becomes easier to spot something different. Many collectors keep reference images or books to help them identify possible errors. Third, protect any coin that looks unusual. Avoid cleaning it, because cleaning can damage the surface and reduce its value. Instead, place it in a protective holder and consider showing it to an experienced collector or a professional grading service. The coin collecting community continues to grow around the world. Millions of people enjoy the hobby because it combines history, art, and the thrill of discovery. Each coin tells a story about the time when it was made and the people who used it. Imagine finding a coin in your pocket change that turns out to be rare. That moment of discovery is what keeps collectors searching through rolls of coins and jars of spare change. While most coins will remain common, every once in a while someone finds something extraordinary. The 2018 p dime reminds us that even modern coins can attract attention. While most examples are only worth 10 cents, rare errors and high-grade specimens can become collectible pieces that collectors are eager to own. So the next time you receive change at a store or find a handful of coins at home, take a closer look before spending them. That small silver coin might just have a story to tell. It might even hold a hidden surprise that turns an ordinary dime into something far more valuable. If you enjoy learning about coins, rare discoveries, and hidden treasures in everyday pocket change, make sure you stay connected with this channel. Coins. There are many more fascinating stories waiting to be discovered in the world of coin collecting, and the next valuable coin could be sitting quietly in someone's pocket right now.